going to look at a very, very interesting problem. It's a lot of fun. If you it's not gonna it may not make much sense to you at the very beginning. It makes sense to me because I've seen things before of this nature. Um, but this is kind of like if you ever play Risk, just think of the game Risk and think of your little pieces in your little country or little sector. Okay. Um, this is, by the way, we've mentioned the military before. This can also be applied to artillery in the military, okay? And even to close air support. When infantry, when soldiers need to call for backup from planes, this could also be applied. Um, but this is how this is a game. Think of it as a game. Before we go any further, just think of this as a game. Okay. So this is Ohio, and according to the banking laws in Ohio, a bank that comes into the state can only bill another bank in an adjacent county, adjacent to a existing bank branch. Okay, let me explain. Say that you place you open a bank in Ohio. You're going to have to apply for all this paperwork. It's very tedious. It's horrible. But you apply and you build a bank in County One up here, which is Ashtabula. You can laugh. You should laugh at these names because uh, there's no way I'm going to pronounce them correctly. So please laugh. We usually have a good time laughing about this in class. But anyways, so number one, if you bill in one, according to the law, you can only bill another branch in an adjacent county. So what's adjacent to 1, 2, 12, and 16? That's it. Can you bill in 13? No, you can't. If you want to bill in 13, you will have to establish a new, what they call them, P something, principal place of business, is PPB or something like that. You will have to reapply for all this, all the paperwork and go through all the bureaucracy. It's definitely something that you want to avoid. But if you want to bill in 2, 12, and 16, after you have one done, it's very simple. You just go ahead and do it. You don't have to reapply. Okay, it's that you don't have to get licenses again. So the question is, where should you place those principal places of business? Where should you apply for a license to make sure that if you want to build additional branches in other counties, you don't have to go through the process again? Okay, so think about it. If you, for example, say that you only have one, you're only going to apply once. You're only going to go through the process once. Where will you do it? Well, my eyes right away go right to number 8, because if I apply for number 8 and I establish my principal place of business here, then I can bill in, without a license, I can bill in 18, 7, 9, 10, and 11. And God, almost 19. You know what? 11 looks better now that I think about it. 11 is better because look, if I bill in 11, then without a license, I can go for 19, 20, 14, 15, 13, 10, 8, and 18. Oh, that's probably the best, just looking at it. Um, but if my place of business is in 11, I cannot establish a branch in 1, 2, 12, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see the problem? So what is the minimum? What is the minimum number of headquarters, of principal places of business that we need to build to make sure that we cover as much as possible of the state of Ohio? That's what the problem is. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way, or let me just make it smaller. I'll leave it there as a reminder. So this is how it looks like. A bit crazy, right? I'm going to have all the counties at the top, okay? And I have 20. And the coefficients are just 1, right? Because It's just one per each county. We don't need to build more than one, just one, right? And then I'm going to have the constraints that tell me what is adjacent to what. So for example, constraint 1, which is Ashtabula. Ashtabula, if you build in Ashtabula, if you have your place of business in Ashtabula, you can first of all build in Ashtabula. That's why you have a 1, 1. Okay? You can build in County Lake, number 2. You see it there? So that's another 1. Build in Ashtabula, I can build in Lake. What else? I can also build, if I build in Ashtabula, I can also build in Stark, which is number 11. What? Why did you go to 11? No, that's wrong. Number 12. Yeah, I knew that was wrong. Number 12 is, oh, it's not Stark, that's why I read it wrong. Do I have the names? Number 12 is Gauya, but why do I have the name? No, it's correct. I have it correct. It's just that this is fooling me. The way these are written is fooling me. Yeah, Stark is 11 and Lady Gaga here is 12. Okay, I have it right. Oof. So that's a 1. And then if I build in Ashtabula, I can also build in Trumbull, which is number 16, which is this one. Okay. See, so I have a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1. Okay, and you just keep doing that. You just keep putting a 1 on the counties that are adjacent to the one that you're talking about. Always remember, always you need another 1 for that county itself. Okay, so Ashtabula is next to Ashtabula. I know that sounds stupid, but think about it, right? And each of them, it's going to be greater or equal to 1. We're going to look for the minimum, so it doesn't matter. Technically, it should be 1. It doesn't matter. But you only need 1 branch, okay? Just 1 branch, that's all. And you build your constraints. So we're going to go to solver now. And in solver, there's only 1. So I have my main constraint, which is all of this. They all need to be greater or equal to 1. Oh, okay. And I think my battery's dying. Yeah. And I need 1 more. I need to tell Excel that all the solutions are binary. Is either yes or no, is a 1 or a 0. So I'm going to add all of this, the locations. It's a binary. So solve. There's your answer. To make sure that I cover the largest territory in Ohio, I need to build in 7, 11, and 12, which on my map is going to be Ashland, Stark. Remember I mentioned Stark just by eyeballing it. And did I say 12? Gauja, 12, which is here. So that kind of like this is like the west, this is like the east, and this is like the northern area. By doing that, you will cover that will be the largest extension that you can cover. And why did I mention the military before? Because now that you've seen this, imagine this is the battlefield. This is the area that you're fighting for. And you only have, well, in this case, I didn't limit it, but let's say that you only have 3 pieces of artillery, and a piece of artillery can only bombard, can only attack an adjacent area. Of course, in a military map, it wouldn't have this weird, although these are not so bad, actually. In the military map, it will have more of a, it will be circles, it wouldn't be square. This would indicate which areas your artillery can hit and which areas it cannot. So where would you locate your artillery pieces to make sure that you have the most coverage of the territory and you can support your infantry? If you want to think about airplanes, it's the same thing. Airplanes have a range. So where are your airfields located? That and now you're thinking about, you have to think about the distance of how far can the planes fly back and forth. Obviously, you want your planes to come back. That would indicate the territories that they can attack. If you think about the United States Navy having so many they have how many aircraft carriers? I don't remember anymore. I think they have 12 or 13 active aircraft carriers. That expands that territory dramatically, actually. One thing that no other country can do.